Hello everyone, we're back once again, this time with a retro review on a game that many consider to be a classic. But does it still hold up today? If you've never played it, is it a game worth picking up? Let's see if we can't answer these questions. This is the good, the bad, and the bland of The Legend of Dragoon. Originally released in 1999, The Legend of Dragoon is a turn-based RPG following the adventures of Dart and his ever-growing party of companions through a quest spanning the world of Endiness. Now, I've got quite a bit I want to say about this game, so let's start diving into... So one of Dragoon's strongest and most memorable points is its combat. While the game is a turn-based RPG, it adds a bit of interactivity to the combat with its addition system, which added an almost rhythm game type minigame to the combat, with different additions requiring different timing and having different benefits. The majority of the game's music is also fantastic, with very fitting and enjoyable music lasting through most of the game's runtime. And while in my opinion Dragoon's story is a fairly typical JRPG adventure, it does shine in taking the journey in stages rather than escalating everything all at once. Dragoon also takes an interesting approach to the magic system, with all your spells and abilities being only accessible in the character's Dragoon form. This adds another strategic layer to the combat and helps to differentiate its combat system even more. But enough of the good, it's time to move on to... Dragoon suffers from a large number of unavoidable segments that don't particularly have anything to do with the plot, while bringing the game's pacing to a screeching halt, in addition to constantly adding NPCs that we have almost no real time to grow attached to before destroying them and acting like we should really be invested in Joe the Merchant's death. The game also suffers from a bit of a problem in regards to its grinding. Now I know JRPGs typically have grinding associated with them, but this game takes it in a slightly different direction, in the form of addition grinding. You see, in order for your attacks to be improved, you have to successfully complete a character's attack up to 80 times to reach the highest effect for each edition, and needing to farm a different type of points to level up your Dragoon form to gain access to higher magic. These systems can cause fights to take significantly longer if you're looking to level a slower character's abilities with any type of efficiency. Additionally, the rewards for most normal fights are severely lacking in terms of the experience and gold you receive from them, with boss fights typically being the only efficient way to gain levels. The boss fights themselves also tend to be all over the place, with the fights almost randomly going between hilariously easy and quick to ridiculously difficult and lengthy. The game's inventory system also left much to be desired, granting the player more than enough space for weapons and armors, but limiting your usable items to 32, which typically ends up causing players to randomly toss an item when they come across a chest, hoping for a better item out of the deal, which it almost never is. But now that the bad is out of the way, it's time to move on to... Quite possibly one of the strangest things to look back on Dragoon about is the voice acting. Back when the game first came out, having voice acting in a game was a relatively new and astounding thing that blew a lot of people away. But listening to it now is like watching a really bad B-movie where the delivery is so flat it comes back around to being funny again. Dragoon also has the typical old-school JRPG problem of really bashing the player over the head with certain plot points long before they show up. Meaning if you've played a few JRPGs, you'll probably see where the plot's going a good portion of the time. And like most JRPGs of its time, Dragoon's attack animations are significantly lengthy and can become a severe nuisance to deal with. But I think it's finally time we looked at... All in all, The Legend of Dragoon is a game that has a lot of unique and interesting ideas that gets really bogged down by dated and poorly implemented mechanics. The story has tons of filler areas that go absolutely nowhere, and its boss fights can feel more like wars of attritions more than epic battles. I would say that Dragoon has not held up as well as the test of time as its other PS1 brethren. It's kinda clunky, its pacing is off, and it has a lot of bad design choices from the time of its release. But if you like JRPGs and are looking for an older game with an interesting combat system, you may want to give it a pick up and try it out. But these are of course just my opinions on the game, and I'd really love to know your thoughts on it. So feel free to leave a comment, hit me up on Twitter, or join our Discord server with the link in the description below. And as always, until next time, keep gaming.